You are standing on a massive stone rampart, breathing in the cold, damp spring air of April, 1453. For 1,000 years, the ground beneath your feet has been the ultimate, unbreakable shield of the Roman Empire, the legendary Theodosian walls. They are an architectural marvel, a towering, triple-layered fortress of limestone and brick that has shattered every army foolish enough to test them. Dozens of catastrophic sieges have failed against these very stones. You trace your hand along the cold masonry, feeling a deep ancestral pride. You believe you are safe, but then you look out over the parapet and your blood runs entirely cold. The horizon is moving. It is not just an army. It is an endless mechanical sea of humanity. Over 100,000 Ottoman soldiers are marching toward your city. You look to your left, then to your right. Looking at the exhausted men beside you, you realize the terrifying truth. There are only 7,000 of you. You are vastly, hopelessly outnumbered, and the true nightmare has not even begun. Welcome to the end of the world as you know it. This is not just a battle. This is the violent strangulation of the greatest empire antiquity ever produced. You are trapped inside Constantinople, the queen of cities, the final beating heart of the Byzantine Empire. Outside, Sultan Mehmed II has brought a relentless war machine unlike anything the earth has ever witnessed, designed for one singular purpose: absolute eradication. If you stay with me until the end of this journey, you will experience the harrowing reality of this apocalyptic 53-day siege from the inside. You will discover 3 crucial secrets about the fall of this invincible city. First, the terrifying psychological warfare designed to break your mind before the walls ever crack. Second, the devastating technological terror of a weapon so massive it shifted the paradigm of human conflict forever. And finally, the tragic microscopic mistake, a singular error of human negligence that doomed a 1,000-year empire to ashes. The gates are locked shut. There's no escape. As the sun sets on the first day of the siege, the creeping dread truly begins to take hold of your mind. You look out from your defensive position on the towering outer wall. In the pitch-black night, you see the enemy campfires igniting one by one, but they do not stop. They multiply. Thousands upon thousands of fires stretch as far as the eye can see, wrapping around the entire city like a suffocating blanket of glowing embers. It looks as though the earth itself is bleeding fire. The visual intimidation is entirely overwhelming, but the young sultan knows that to break impenetrable walls, he must first break the minds of the men guarding them. Suddenly, the cold air begins to physically vibrate. A low, rhythmic thumping echoes across the plains. It is the Ottoman Metter military bands. Massive bass drums, crashing brass cymbals, and piercing horns erupt into a unified, terrifying symphony of war. The sound is not just loud, it is a concussive force pressing against your chest. This is a highly calculated psychological assault. They play relentlessly, all day, all night. Every single time you close your eyes, desperately trying to catch a fleeting moment of sleep on the cold stone, the drums strike again. The sheer, unending volume deprives you and your fellow defenders of sleep, plunging you into a state of severe physical exhaustion and waking paranoia. The relentless drumming becomes the heartbeat of a beast waiting to consume you in the dark. You try to find comfort in the legendary thickness of your walls, whispering to yourself that stone does not bleed. But as the dawn of a new week approaches, a colossal shadow is wheeled to the front lines, a weapon so blasphemously large it will shatter not just your walls, but the entire history of warfare. You peer through the thick morning mist, trying to make sense of the monstrous contraption being dragged into position by 60 massive oxen. It is the Basilica Cannon, designed by a rogue Hungarian engineer named Orban. This bronze beast is 27 feet long and fires a solid stone ball weighing over 1,000 pounds. You have seen cannons before, but they were small, inaccurate toys compared to this apocalyptic leviathan. As the Ottoman gunners pack the massive barrel with gunpowder, a deafening silence falls over the battlefield. The war drums momentarily cease. The anticipation is a physical weight crushing your lungs. Then the sky tears open. The roar of the blast is louder than thunder, a concussive shockwave that physically throws you backward against the inner parapet. A cloud of thick, sulfurous black smoke engulfs the plains, choking your lungs. You scramble to your feet, your ears ringing with a high-pitched scream. You look toward the point of impact. The invincible Theodosian walls, the limestone and brick that stood defiant for a millennium, are turning into dust and deadly shrapnel before your very eyes. Chunks of jagged stone explode inward, crushing the defenders stationed below. The psychological devastation is absolute. Your invincible shield is mortal. As night falls, you drop your sword and pick up a shovel. Driven by pure, frantic desperation, you scramble into the smoking breach. You repair the shattered walls using whatever you can find: timber, barrels packed with earth, and even the sacred ancient marble statues ripped from the city's plazas. You plug the bleeding wounds of your city, but every day the cannon fires and every night you rebuild. You look to the sea every morning, searching for the promised reinforcements from Western Europe, but the horizon remains completely empty. You are utterly on your own, and the enemy is about to find your fatal weakness. 53 days. That is how long you have survived in this waking nightmare. Your hands are blistered and bleeding, your armor is violently dented, and your stomach is hollow from starvation. The constant bombardment and the suffocating isolation have drained every ounce of hope from the city.
Forward,
Europe
men,
has abandoned
for the
you.
Sultan!
It is the 29th of May. Sultan Mehmed unleashes his final, overwhelming assault. Wave after wave of irregular troops and disciplined heavy infantry crash against your hastily repaired barricades. You fight with the absolute savagery of a cornered animal, your sword arm entirely numb from hours of endless, brutal, hand-to-hand combat. Miraculously, the defenders hold the line. The invincible walls, though battered, are surviving. But history is rarely decided by grand strategies. It is dictated by the smallest, most tragic human errors. Amidst the chaos, the smoke, and the deafening roar of battle, a catastrophic mistake occurs. In a forgotten corner of the northern defensive sector, a small pedestrian postern door known as the Kirko Porta Gate has been used by defending troops to launch quick, desperate sorties. In the frantic retreat of the last skirmish, someone forgot to lock it. It is a microscopic oversight, a simple iron latch left unthrown. But the elite Ottoman Janissaries, the Sultan's most lethal, highly trained shock troops, notice the unprotected entrance. They do not need to break the walls. They simply push the door open. 50 elite warriors pour into the space between the inner and outer walls. When you see the enemy flag suddenly raised atop the tower behind your own lines, a shockwave of absolute terror ripples through the defending army. The cry rings out. The city is taken. Panic, visceral and uncontrollable, shatters the defensive line entirely. This is the ultimate collapse. The unstoppable tide of Janissaries floods through the breached gates, slaughtering everyone in their path. In the epicenter of this swirling chaos stands your emperor, Constantine XI. Realizing all is truly lost, he makes a choice that will echo through eternity. He strips off his purple imperial regalia, throwing his royal cape into the blood-soaked dirt. He draws his sword, lets out a final defiant roar, and charges headlong into the overwhelming mass of Ottoman steel. He vanishes into the sea of blades, choosing to die as a nameless soldier alongside his men rather than outlive his empire. The Roman Empire does not end with a signed treaty. It ends in a devastating storm of blood and fire. The catastrophic fall of Constantinople teaches us a terrifying lesson. No matter how high your walls, no matter how glorious your history, absolute security is an illusion. 1,000 years of magnificent civilization was violently undone by evolving technology and a single unlocked door. We must never take our foundations for granted. If you want to continue exploring the darkest, most dramatic collapses in human history, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Join the Empire on Flames community and let us know in the comments below which historical catastrophe you want to survive next. The next empire is already burning.